Good evening, I'm Patricia Vallone with a CTV News update. County Executive Angela ALSOBROOKS breaks her silence on the ongoing school board controversy in Prince George's. In a written statement, ALSOBROOKS says the controversy predated her administration, as well as the current CEO and board chair. She adds that the suggestion that current events were fabricated in an effort to remove elected officials and place an all-appointed board in office is, quote, outrageous. David Harrington with the Prince George's Chamber of Commerce says the ongoing controversy is hurting the county.
This has an effect on our economy, our quality of life, and what we're trying to build in Prince George's County. And so this multi-billion-dollar asset that we have in Prince George must be governed in a way where it's sound and where we're moving the agenda to make sure that this asset represents the best in Prince George's County. And it has an enormous effect on our economy and on doing business in Prince George's County.
There seemed to be this time period when Dr. Thornton was on there where there was, no divisiveness, at least not outwardly.
But Dr. Thornton ran the school board in a very effective, very business-like manner. And we seemed like we were going in the right direction. And then all of a sudden it just really broke down in a way where there were just some other movements on the board that really didn't speak to then inclusiveness or collaboration.
Harrington says two things are needed immediately to quell the dysfunction on the board: a mediator and an audit of the bylaws. Also topping the news tonight, a deadly shooting at the Metro Pentagon Transit Center claims the life of a law enforcement officer. The incident unfolded this morning near a platform by the Pentagon's Metro station. The Pentagon was put on lockdown as police rushed to the scene. Multiple people at the scene needed assistance. One witness says that he heard at least a dozen shots fired and saw CPR being performed on two people. The lockdown was lifted about 12:15 this afternoon. Well, Prince George's County has wrapped up a 3-month-long vaccine canvassing initiative. Officials say canvassers knocked on more than 260,000 doors in communities like Oxon Hill, Mount Rainier, Suitland, College Park, and Langley Park. David Sloan from the county executive's office says their team had to dispel misinformation that some residents had about the vaccine.
We were able to, cut through that misinformation, give details on, real stats, reliable information, right? Our data shows us that we had over 135,000 positive vaccine conversations, meaning that we feel that after those conversations, right, people were either going to get the vaccine, we're going to sign up, already had the vaccine, and we're going to, encourage their loved ones to get it.
And the vaccine outreach team also provided residents with information about COVID-19 relief programs. Well, Metro says it might ramp up its COVID-19 testing. General Manager Paul Wiedefeld says only 40% of the workforce has received the vaccine. If rates don't reach more than 70%, officials say there could be mandatory testing for staffers who have not provided proof of vaccination. And here are the latest COVID-19 numbers for our area. The state health department has confirmed 368 new cases in Maryland since yesterday. 80 of those are in Prince George's County. The positivity rate is at 3.38%. It hasn't been that high since early May. 6 people have died of the virus since yesterday. 309 people remain hospitalized. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone. Coming up, there's another deadline to sign up for health insurance in Maryland. We'll have the details after the break.
1 in 365 African Americans battle sickle cell disease. I was one of them. Life back then was painful. I was in and out of the hospital and had frequent pain crises. A blood stem cell transplant is the only cure for sickle cell disease. I was fortunate to find a perfect match in my younger sister, but many patients do not have a compatible donor in their families, and Black patients have only a 23% chance of finding an unrelated donor. More Black donors are urgently needed to help save lives. It only takes a simple cheek swab to join the Be the Match registry. Learn more about becoming a donor and access free patient resources by visiting endsicklecell.org today You or someone you know could be the cure for a patient battling sickle cell, like me.
Welcome back. In national news, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo sexually harassed at least 11 women and then retaliated against a former employee who publicly complained about his conduct. That, according to State Attorney General Letitia James. The bombshell report released today concludes a months-long probe. James says Cuomo's actions violated federal and state laws and that his office was riddled with fear and intimidation and constituted a hostile work environment for many staffers. The report does not mention any specific penalties. Prince George's police need your help finding a missing 88-year-old man. Loxley Smith was last seen yesterday at 7:30 p.m. He was driving a 2005 Toyota Tundra with Maryland tags 23718CG in the 9400 block of Dewberry Avenue in Lanham. Smith is 5'9" and weighs about 190 pounds. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is asked to contact police. Well, the deadline to sign up for health coverage in Maryland is approaching. The coronavirus special enrollment period is set to end on August 15th. If you are uninsured, you can enroll in private health plans through the Maryland Health Connection. Vincent DeMarco from Maryland Citizens Health Initiative says about 6% of Marylanders are currently uninsured.
Only 6% of Maryland's population is now uninsured. It used to be 13%, but that's still hundreds of thousands of people. And the amazing thing is that there are people out there who are uninsured who could get free health care under MarylandHealthConnection.gov.
And for more information, you can visit MarylandHealthConnection.gov. Prince George's police officials are pledging additional resources aimed at reducing violent crime. The move comes in the wake of the county's deadly weekend that saw 6 people gunned down, including 2 teenage boys. At least 4 others were injured. Chief Malik Aziz says that homicides are up 72% compared with last year. This, he says, as the department grapples with a shortage of officers. At a press conference yesterday, Aziz was asked about those numbers.
There are many organizations and NGOs and governmental organizations that say that we should have 2.5 or 3.0 per thousand, and I don't know if that's the right number, because putting a police officer on every corner that may not mitigate crime either. That may not bring it down either. So it's about getting the right number of personnel that it takes to drive crime down and to have a more vibrant and engaging community.
There have been 81 homicides in Prince George's so far this year. Still to come here on CTV News, we continue our conversation with University of Maryland President Dr. Darrell Pines. Stay with us.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far. A place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna.
It only takes a spark to make a fire start.
Thank you.
Study, please.
I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
Thanks for staying with us. Well, Prince George's police arrest a teenager for his involvement in a fatal shooting in Laurel. Police say the suspect is a 17-year-old boy. The teen faces first and second-degree murder charges. Officers responded to the 13,300 block of Laurel Bowie Road on July 24th, and that's where they found Antoine Riley suffering from gunshot wounds. He was pronounced dead on the scene. The suspect reportedly shot the victim during an argument. University of Maryland President Dr. Darrell Pines is looking forward to his second year at the helm of the institution. His association with UMD goes back to the mid-1990s when he was hired as an assistant professor. Pines notes that his first year was full of challenges, but says the university's leadership team was successful in guiding the school through the pandemic, which he says was the biggest challenge.
But I'm very proud of what we've accomplished. We had a minimum number of positive cases on our campus, probably some of the lowest in the United States for a campus of our size. You know, we're almost 50,000 people, and we had about 3,000 total cases. But if you go and look at any large flagship university in the United States, you would find out that they had many more cases than that. So I thought we put together a really good risk mitigation plan. And then in addition, we innovated and were able to deliver at least 20% of our classes roughly in person for our undergraduate students. And we had a number of limited but in-person activities on campus. So I felt that our plan to open our campus went very well.
And Pine says at least 90% of UMD's faculty, staff, and student body has been fully vaccinated. A program that helps people with disabilities could be ending on August 15th, and the ARC of Prince George's says it's waiting for updates from the health department about an extension. As we told you last month, this program is called Appendix K. It allows people with disabilities to receive services in their homes or through community-based institutions during the pandemic. Executive Director Rob Malone says Appendix K has also helped caregivers and families.
You as a parent or caregiver are not going to have your normal routine. You're not going to work. You're not doing those sorts of things. And so you need accommodations and support. You might be more comfortable with someone coming to your home to provide that in service instead of coming into the building. So when parents think about the other thing, parents sometimes also, depending on the type of services, can actually be paid as if they were the staff working for the ARC to provide care for their loved one.
And we reached out to the health department but have not heard back. Well, where does the water go after it flows into a storm drain? Area youth are both learning about earth-friendly projects and educating the public as well. The Department of the Environment's summer cadets spent this morning stenciling storm drains around the hospital in Largo. They want to make sure that people understand why it's important to only let rainwater flow down the drains.
Today, we are doing what's called Community Trifecta Day. And what that means is that we clean the community, beautify the community, and we bring awareness to the community about litter prevention. And storm drain stenciling is just one of the areas that we focus on to ensure the community and bring awareness to the community about not littering the storm drains.
People need to know not to litter here because I've seen a lot of people actually, throwing things into storm drains. So people need to know, it's ruining our community as a whole. I think we all want a cleaner, environment, and we all want to help our own community so it doesn't look dirty.
And the youth cadets will be working on a variety of virtual and hands-on sustainable projects throughout August. Let's get a quick check now on our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 65. Wednesday, partly cloudy with a high near 80. Thursday, mostly sunny, highs near 85. And Friday, sunny with a high near 88. And now for your community calendar, you can bring your family and friends to celebrate police and community partnerships. The city of New Carrollton is hosting its 38th annual National Night Out. Enjoy kid activities, music, and much more. There will also be a pop-up clinic for residents to receive vaccines. The event is tonight from 5 until 8 p.m. at Beckett Field. For a complete list of locations hosting National Night Out, you can visit PGPD News on Twitter. And that wraps up our newscast. Join us again tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a great night.